Our Fleecing of America series has gone inside what may be the biggest fraud in American history. Billions of dollars in pandemic assistance stolen by scammers. Finding them is the job of the Justice Department. I sat down with Deputy Attorney General Lisa Monaco to find out how they're doing it.
As I said, even I was surprised at the sheer brazenness of some of these fraud efforts.
Deputy Attorney General Lisa Monaco is the top cop charged with prosecuting perhaps the biggest fraud in American history, pandemic relief fraud.
There is something that is truly corrupt about somebody or an organization that would go after and try and line their own pockets and take from people who need that aid. I can't think of something that's more corrupt.
Over the past year, the Department of Justice has charged more than 1,000 people and seized back more than $1 billion in cash and luxury items like homes, cars, even a valuable Pokemon card. They say thousands of cases are underway, though that is likely just scratching the surface of the total amount of fraud suspected to have occurred. The goal of holding people accountable is certainly laudable, but at what cost? At the end of the day, you're going to be collecting pennies on the dollar here?
Look, I'll leave the predictions to the investigators and the analysts at the end of the day, but our work is far from over.
Law enforcement sources tell NBC News they believe the majority of those responsible and the stolen funds are overseas. To the extent that you've seen state actors involved here, are our adversaries trying to destabilize us?
Well, I can say this, Lester. We've certainly seen transnational organized criminal groups getting into the business of this pandemic fraud.
In an effort to determine the scale of the loss, President Biden announced last month that the Justice Department would appoint a chief prosecutor for COVID-related fraud.
What we'll be doing in this next phase is focusing on large-scale criminal organizations, transnational actors who took it upon themselves to exploit the relief packages.
Kevin Chambers, a former accountant turned prosecutor, will be deploying strike teams to comb through data, looking for a digital evidence trail. One of the things I know you have seen is people celebrating their success on social media. Look what I got away with. Here's my wad of cash.
It's infuriating.
They're mocking you.
They're
mocking the government.
They're mocking the government. Yeah. They're boasting about their crimes. But we've got the data. So you may get on Instagram and show off your fancy new watch. You may be buying furniture for the ill-gotten vacation home. But the fact of the matter is, at some point, you can expect a knock on your door holding you to account.
But with estimates of hundreds of billions of taxpayer dollars stolen, the task is enormous and only expected to grow. We're talking fraud in the hundreds of thousands, if not millions. Can you handle those many cases?
We can and we will, Lester.
How do you know when you're successful, given the fact that you or no one else can give us a real number of how much money was taken, how many perpetrators there were?
We are successful every time we are holding accountable somebody who's trying to profit on the pain of Americans.
Government hoping to send a very strong message. Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.